What's up guys, my name is Sebastián and welcome to another episode of Seba Reviews. And today I'm reviewing one of the biggest events of the year, one of the biggest battles that people have been wanting to see for decades, or at least done in a proper way. Because this isn't the first time these two titans clashed against each other. We did have one in the 70s, but I mean, many can say that, alright, it was cool and whatnot, but that's not the fight that we really want to see. Especially the way it ended, and the movie itself is just not that good. We want to see this fight again, but in modern times with the technology that we have and the way that we make films, make it a more structured, just a better film all around. And of course, I'm talking about Godzilla versus Kong. Kong, not King Kong, because he's not king yet. He's just Kong. I guess people have been waiting for this movie for a long time, especially since this universe came around. People were like, oh shit, like, can we actually see this fight happen now? Because yeah, the movie in the 70s, like, alright, I didn't hate the movie, it's fine for what it was, but I mean, that King Kong is like kind of a knockoff. It's not the King Kong that we know, love, that we known. It's just like, oh, it's this Toho's version of King Kong. So it's like, okay, I guess it's King Kong, but it's not really tied into anything that's really from that lore. It's just brought up in this universe, in this own movie, so it was what it was. But even the fight itself is...
Shove it in your face! Shove it, shove it, shove it!
Yeah, but this one is like the one that people have been waiting for. I mean, even back then when we had like King Kong 2005, like I would have loved to see that King Kong fight against any Godzilla, but we didn't have Godzilla. Well, we kind of did have Godzilla back in 2000. Nah, not really. But so see, we didn't have these two titans work together in cinema. We like King Kong sometimes shows up, Godzilla's not there. Godzilla shows up, King Kong's not there. So it's like, man, like, we want to see these titans fight against each other in something. So I'm glad that they finally made a universe where they are connected with each other, and we can finally see who will win in a fight. Godzilla or King Kong. And yes, Lionsgate, you know, the American version of these monsters, it's been a hit or miss, really. It hasn't been a strong universe. It's been pretty weak, if you ask me. I mean, Gareth Edwards' the Godzilla from 2014, I remember not liking that movie, except for the ending, because that was disappointing as shit. Like, Godzilla, you barely showed that motherfucker? And if you show him as dark as hell, I can barely see what the hell's going on. Like, that shit was just like, kind of too uber serious. It's just weird, because now that you keep following the universe, like, this tone of this film doesn't fit with the rest of the movies. So it's almost like the DCEU kind of deal. Like, we had these uber serious films, and now the rest of them just don't fit with each other. And okay. But the last time I did watch it, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more, but it is kind of a little bit slow, a little bit kind of boring. Not any compelling character here that you want to be invested on, except for Bryan Cranston, but we all know what the fuck happens to him. Fuck that movie, we're kind of advertising that he would be in the movie. Not really. And then Kong Skull Island, you know, the second feature, you're just like, oh cool, we're building this universe. And I remember not liking that movie the first time I saw it, because I thought it was stupid. I couldn't be invested in any character, because I thought like they were so underdeveloped and just nothing, like one note. But the last time I watched it, I actually enjoyed it way more for what it was. It's a stupid, stylistic action movie with King Kong. You know, it was awesome. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I still agree that some characters are super undeveloped, but at least they're likable, more likable than any other character in Godzilla. And then I thought, okay, Godzilla 2, this is the one that's gonna fix everything. King of Monsters is gonna be a little more fun than the first movie, but we will have that more serious tone. It's not this dumb action movie, but we will still have that fun, balance it with a little serious storyline. And that movie's stupid as shit. I only saw it once. I kind of wanted to watch it before this one. I just didn't have time to do it, but I remember just not liking that movie at all. It's stupid. I didn't like any characters. Some of these characters are just awful. And like, the fights sucked. The CG was not that good. It was terrible. I fucking hated that movie. I mean, I guess I'll try to watch it again, but fuck that movie. Seriously, I just couldn't stand that movie. So this universe has been like, hasn't been strong for me. But this is finally the movie that we're gonna see these two titans fight against each other. We're gonna see how it works out. Will we have a definitive winner? We'll find out. I'll do a spoiler review next time, so we'll stick out for that. But we want to know, how's it gonna go? Is this gonna be a good movie? Is there gonna be a good fights going on? Like, is this gonna be awesome but not bad and kind of just really dumb. We'll see. Let's just focus on what people come in for. Are the fights any good? Fuck yeah, they're good. I mean, it looks awesome. And Wingard, who directed this movie, I think he did the Blair Witch sequel movie that came out in 2016. He knows how to direct good action set pieces. He does some things incredible here with the way the camera moves. He does like 360 like rotations and stuff like that. He plays around with gravity, like different angles. There's actually some POVs sometimes from like the monster's perspectives, which is badass. He knows how to work around the axis of the action. He knows how to work things around and make things look good. And we actually see the monsters well. There's nothing blurring your vision. There's nothing the fucking snow like in King of Monsters. It's like, fuck you. We actually can see what's going on. And it's very well detailed. We can see what's going on. Oh my god, I have to emphasize that shit. We can see the fights. And there's some badass stuff. Like Kong does some badass shit. Godzilla's some badass shit. Like the fights here are good. But I will say the fights are not enough. I don't want to spoil how many times they fight, but it's not long for me. Although this movie's an hour and 52 minutes. It's not that long, really. And I kind of get that they have a story here that they want to work on, so I know that maybe we see all these fights and focus on those fights, then maybe it would hurt the story. But I know a lot of people don't go in this movie to see the story. They just want to see these two titans fight on each other, just beat shit up. But I guess I see that they want to still do a good story, and I guess they don't want to hurt it by just focusing on these fights and not really having a good story to set up those fights. And I don't know, for me, I needed maybe, I don't know, maybe one more fight, maybe two more. I won't say how many fights are in this movie, but I just needed at least one or two more. You know, this is Godzilla, this is Kong, goddammit. I want to see these two people fuck each other up. But the fight that we do see, yes, they're awesome. But again, it doesn't feel enough for me. I don't know if you can say that I'm greedy or something. I'm just saying, for a movie that's called like that, I didn't see that many fights between the two of them. So how did Titans though? Well, the movie's titled Godzilla vs. Kong, but it really should have been titled Kong, featuring some appearances by Godzilla. Because this is really, if you see this movie, you can tell this is really Kong's movie. And it's not really Kong and Godzilla's movie. This is Kong's movie. Like, he has his own storyline. There's a lot of things about him that we get to unravel more of this world, these creatures and monsters. We get to know a lot of stuff from this universe through him. We also have some personal storylines of him. And Godzilla's like, well, all right, I'll see you next time with the next fight, or whenever you need me for plot, which is not that much because I'm not in it that much. Again, he only appears for the fights and whenever something must happen that he has to be in it. But the rest of the movie, he's in the sidelines just waiting for something in the plot to call him. Really. Although, hey, I enjoyed everything I saw from Kong. I love his story, that we get to see what's going on with his origins and see the origins more of the monsters. We get to explore more of that world. And again, we have some interesting stuff from Kong himself. I really enjoyed it. And it's actually, I like Kong's design in this movie because I didn't even think about this before I saw the movie, but it's like, yeah, it has been a couple of years, like a couple of decades. So I like that they made Kong a little bit more older, a little bit furrier. You know, if you saw his movie in Kong Skull Island, he's a lot more younger, he's kind of fresh-faced. So I kind of like that detail. He's a little more gristle, like kind of a little more veteran, kind of tired. I did like that design for him, but it doesn't mean he can't move. Like, fuck yeah, he can't move. So I like all the stuff that he did with him, all the storylines with him, like those are good stuff. I really liked him. I really like that stuff. But I was really disappointed that we really didn't focus almost anything on Godzilla. What I did like about what they did him in this movie is that they made him the villain, almost. I was like, oh shit, I didn't expect that angle. Especially since the beginning of this universe, Godzilla's always been interpreted as the hero, the Titan savior, as they call him in the movie. To put him as the enemy and make Kong really the hero nowadays, because I know we can't have two villains. I mean, I would have liked if they just fought each other for different reasons. Although the reason here is not bad. I'm just saying, like, it would have been cool if they all fought each other for different reasons, not because, oh, Godzilla's bad and Kong's the hero. Although making Kong the villain is hard because, you know, Kong has a heart, man. He's always been a pure-hearted Titan, man. So making him the villain, kind of like what they did in the original movie back in the 70s, doesn't really work out. So although I like that interpretation of making Godzilla the villain in this movie, they don't really do much with him in here. They don't really have a story. Like, there is a plot. I mean, there's two plots, because the plots have to do with Kong and the people that are surrounded with him. But we also bring some characters back from King of Monsters. You know, Millie Bobby Brown is back. We see Kyle Chandler's back with some added new characters, where the storyline is basically trying to unravel the mystery of this corporation called Apex Corporation or whatever. Which, oh, this corporation, where the hell was it in all these previous movies? Oh, we just happened to be there the whole time. What? And yeah, the name of the company is so on the nose. Holy shit. But I really enjoyed that storyline as well. I enjoyed both of these plots. And Millie Bobby Brown and Kyle Chandler, I didn't like them at all. I thought they were like useless. Why you're in this movie? I don't need to see you at all. But I actually enjoyed Millie Bobby Brown a lot more. They did a lot more stuff with her in this movie than the last one, that's for sure. Kyle Chandler's here and there. He didn't really need to be in this movie. Let's just be honest. He didn't really need to be there. But they kind of had to explain, like, where's her dad? He has to be somewhere. So it's kind of disappointing we really see more from him. But I really like him in the first movie, so I don't care. So, but seeing her and seeing what she does, really badass, really cool stuff in here. And like the new characters that are with her, like Brian Tyree Henry, I thought he was good. He's one of the first characters that we see in the movie. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. Is he getting annoying? I don't know. But no, I actually liked him because he's this kind of conspiracy freak that he's just trying to uncover the truth of Apex Corporation, trying to see what's going on with them, the truth behind what they're doing. I really liked him. And I really liked his interaction with Julian Dennison. You know him maybe from Deadpool 2 and Call of the Wildebeest, I think is the movie. He's in this movie, and I like this interaction between them because Brian Tyree Henry is just fucking annoyed with this kid. I'm like, dude, why is this kid here? And I will say, Julian, he was alright. There's moments I did enjoy him, but a lot of him was like, this kid is just annoying. Like, I don't really need him in this movie. I wasn't to the point I was really hating this guy. Not really. I did have some enjoyable moments with him in the movie, so he's not really a detractor of the film, but a lot of times I just didn't need this kid here. I would have been fine with just Millie and Brian in this movie. I didn't need him to be there, but he did bring some interesting perspective. He's mostly the audience character because, you know, the rest of these characters are kind of faced with this shit. Well, he is the one that's like, what the fuck is going on right now? Are we not going to question this? This is weird. But yeah, he was kind of like, kind of annoying, but he was iffy. He was on and off for me. So at the end of the day, I didn't hate him, but I didn't really need him in the movie. And Alexander Skarsgård, I know he said in the interview, like, oh, I know you won't care about my character. You're not watching this movie for me. And it's true. But actually, man, I really liked him in the movie. And to the point that I say, like, hey, I would love to see this guy in another movie. Like, I would love to see him in the sequel, or if they're gonna do a sequel, or I don't know what they're gonna do with this universe, but I really liked him.
What's funny is he's supposed to be playing like a mild-mannered scientist who is thrust into the action, but out of nowhere he knows how to command a fleet of soldiers and how to do combat and badass things, and people just follow his actions at every whim. Like, who the fuck is he and why are we following his command?
I also like Rebecca Hall in the movie. She was great. I thought she would be annoying. I don't know. I thought she would be one of those characters like, I just won't like her because, you know, I didn't like her in Iron Man 3. But no, dude, she was awesome. I really like her character. I thought she was smart. And none of these characters were to the point where, like, oh, let's do these stupid decisions that it just really hurts the movie. Like, no, they do some smart things. They do care about some of the monsters, and they do care about what's going on, but they don't do anything that I found like, oh my god, this is really dumb. Like, we don't need you to do this. And like her storyline, her connection with Kong, and also her daughter in the movie, I thought she was adorable. I thought she was one of the best characters in the movie because I like her connection with Kong, and I like that stuff. Demi Bashir plays the CEO of Apex, and he was that cookie cutter cartoon character that we see sometimes in these Godzilla movies, you know, like, I'm evil, Godzilla. He was borderline between that, but he wasn't completely ridiculous where I found him to be annoying and the detractor of the movie. I actually kind of liked him. He's not even that much to hurt the movie, but yes, he is kind of the cartoony, evil CEO guy. I'm like, oh my god. And this movie, it is pretty predictable in a way. You kind of know what's going on. You know what's going to happen. And it's not anything I will say is a negative, but you know, you kind of know what's going on. If that's something that's a negative for you, then I'm sorry, you will probably know what's going to happen in the movie as you go watch it. Although there are some things that I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Like, they brought some elements that made me question what is really gonna happen in this movie. Like, what is going on? So it's not completely 100% predictable, but most of it, you kind of know what's gonna happen in the day. You know what's gonna happen. At some point, I was kind of confused with the plot. Like, okay, what's going on in here? Like, this is getting a little bit complicated than I would have liked. But then around, okay, I think I know what's going on. Okay, all right, I'm good. We're back. But there was a point halfway there. I'm like, well, what's going on? And the tone of the movie, I thought it balanced tones very well. It's not uber serious, but it's not completely dumb and stupid like it was in the second Godzilla movie. I thought that movie was just stupid. And don't get me wrong, there's some stupid shit in here. There's some dumb, but not a lot of dumb stuff. There's some dumb stuff, especially Asa Gonzalez's character. I mean, she's not dumb, but she just has some one-liners basically. And I'm like, oh my god, she's some cheesy shit. There's a little bit of cheesy stuff in this movie, but she said some lines that I'm like, oh. But I didn't hate her in the movie either. I didn't really hate her, but I was just like, man, her and Lemmy Bashir, man, they're falling there in that cartoony dumb shit, especially Julian's character as well. But you know what? It's not to a point that it's so completely childish and dumb. Like it didn't really went that far. So it does have some comedic stuff that sometimes I really laugh and sometimes I really enjoy what's going on. Some badass shit. So it's a more light-hearted movie. I mean, compared to Godzilla 2014 for sure. I mean, none of these movies compare to that movie because none of them are similarly in tone. But I do think this is a little bit more, at least a little bit more serious and especially more competent than it was in King of Monsters. But no, this movie's not serious at all. There's a lot of humor, there's a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, at least it's not completely G-rated crap. That's just, no. Although there's one thing that I found to be completely dumb in the movie. I'll say that in spoiler stuff. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of stuff that falls into that Godzilla 70s, 80s, like ridiculous shit where they do some extravagant stuff. It only falls to that like Japanese like Power Rangers kind of thing. It falls into that. It doesn't go super full steam ahead into that kind of stuff, but they do some things. Tonally, it just feels weird in this movie, or it's just a little bit too cartoony when compared to the rest of the movie. Although, like I said, it's not a completely serious movie, but it's just, these are things that I don't know if they fit completely here. But even then, just when I think about it, it's just stupid. Like, okay, this is a stupid choice. Like, why are we doing these stuff? So it's like this movie wants to ride between making this cartoony and making this a little bit too serious and not completely childish. So it tries to ride both. It doesn't fall completely either or. But I do think it does quite a good job of balancing both. Sometimes it kind of falters a little bit, like, oh, wait. But for the most part, I think it does a great job. So yeah, I like enjoying the fights. I like seeing the Titans. I like knowing what they're doing. I like seeing the human characters. I didn't find anything to be completely negative or hurting the movie at all. I actually enjoy them for the most part. I do like the stories, and they're trying to flesh out some of the universe. They're trying to do a lot of stuff with Kong. I actually empathize a lot with Kong. Not that I did it in the original movie or in this, it's Kong Skull Island, but I really enjoyed him a lot more in here. To do a lot of things to develop this character, which develop a giant ape doesn't talk. Fuck it, man, dude, they do a great job of that. Make me feel for this guy. They've always done it for this whole franchise, but they did it here again. I loved him. So fuck yeah, I was always Team Kong, but after seeing this movie, like, fuck yeah, man. Team Kong for life. And Godzilla's movie, he's just a fucking bitch, man. Like, fuck you, man. Fuck, such a smuggy little asshole. There's even one point in this movie, I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, it's ridiculous though. It was completely ridiculous. I didn't really kind of like that moment. But and again, it was cheesy enough to kind of make me smile a little bit. I'm like, this motherfucker. But yeah, man, this movie just kick ass. Even the storyline with the human characters that you think that you would not like, I actually enjoy and actually like seeing these people doing what they're doing. It wasn't a complete detractor. And like I said, although we don't see these people fight that much, at least in my opinion, there's still a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff going on here. A lot of comedic stuff that wasn't like annoying or wasn't really like cringy, anything like that. It was good. And this movie's not that long, which I found that to be kind of negative because, like, again, like I said, we don't see these people fight that much. But I also felt that some things, it's like, okay, we kind of need to wrap this movie up. Like, the ending of the movie sucks. I'll just tell you right now, that ending is really bad. Like, it's just, oh, we're done. Like, wow, really? Is this the best you could come up with? Like, they really just wanted, like, okay, we really need to wrap this movie up. We don't need to make it over 2 hours. So, we're here. So how are we gonna end the movie? Well, we're done. It was really bad. Like, oh my god, it was like the worst ending I've ever seen, but it was shit. It was really, this is really bad. Like, wow, we made such a great job so far, and you're gonna end in a really bad note? Not even trying to spruce things up, like, hey, let's make it a little bit more presentable. No, we're just gonna, right, we're done. It's like, wow. So it was really bad. I'll talk about that more in a spoiler review, but Jesus Christ, really. Other than that, yeah, I thought this movie was just a fun ride. It was a lot of fantastic stuff in here. I enjoyed myself from beginning to end. Although there's a lot of negatives where I can't make it like, oh, this movie is amazing, this movie is fantastic. I mean, yes, it is a great movie. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I had a lot of fun, but you know, I was disappointed that like it's called Godzilla vs. Kong and we don't really have much with Godzilla or anything really. And there's some things here and there I'm like, okay, but it wasn't anything that hurt the movie that much. Only the big thing that I took away that really hurt the movie for me was just not having anything with Godzilla. Like, he's the dude that originated the universe. He's the guy has 2 movies before this movie in this universe, and we're just not gonna do anything with him in the movie. I mean, I like some of the stuff they did with him because it is back to like traditional Godzilla stuff from like Toho days. But man, I was just really disappointed. This movie was really one-sided. Like, if you can't tell which side the filmmakers, side on, you're just blind as fuck. Because you can tell, you can tell from the beginning, or at least when you continue seeing the movie, you know where they land. So I just didn't like that. I would have liked a balanced thing. Like, hey, let's focus on 2 storylines, what they're doing here, which they kind of do. I mean, like, the Millie Bobby Brown, you can say that's the Godzilla storyline, but we don't really see Godzilla. We don't know what's going on with him, and so it sucks. It's kind of like what they do with Superman in like the DCU. Like, he's the one that originated the whole thing, but we don't know what to do with him later on. We just don't really care. So disappointing. A lot of disappointment stuff with the Godzilla parts in here, but there's some cool stuff, connecting these universes. There's a lot of references, although there's some things that were set up in the previous movie in King of Monsters that were just, oh, here's the thing we set up, and we'll just deal with it in 30 seconds and we'll just move on with the movie. So it's not really a big deal. They made it a big deal in the previous movie, like, oh my god. Nah, I mean, yeah, it's a plot device for sure. It's something that sets up what's going to happen, but it's not really that important. And I did notice there were some references visually, not references like, oh, this is what happened in the movie. Like, no, there's some actual shots that are similar, or even some musical cues that were in the other movies. I'll talk about that in the spoiler review. And so I like that. But yeah, I mean, this is a fun movie. It's enjoyable to watch. You won't dislike it. You won't come off of that movie like, oh god, I was bored. No, like, not at all. If you came out bored out of this movie, then man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this movie is enjoyable. It's really enjoyable to see. I really like everything for the most part. And again, the Godzilla stuff was disappointing. And there's some stuff that kind of falls into the cartoony thing that doesn't really work well, but it still kind of did work out because I don't know, I still enjoyed it. I'm like, oh, you know what, this is ridiculous, but it's not anything that I hate or dislike that much. Like, I do find some enjoyment in that those little things here and there. Although the stuff with Asa or Gonzalez, like, man, she says some stuff, I'm like, oh god. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great ride. This is a fun time. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was great. Even parts of the movie I said, like, man, this movie's fantastic, but by the end of the movie, it's a really bad ending. And some of the stuff with the Godzilla, I can't put it in that level. So I'll just say it's 8. I think I'm between this and Skull Island. I was like, which one's my favorite of this little short universe? But maybe Kong Skull Island. I think Kong's a little bit a better film. But again, this has a cast of characters I actually care more about and we have to see a little bit more about. So I don't know. I'm here or there. I don't know yet. But if you saw Godzilla vs. Kong, what did you think about the movie? Did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? Did you like some things? Or did you not like some things? Spoiler tags, if you're going to go into details, as to not spoil for the people that have not seen the movie. But let me know what you think. What's some of the moments that you really enjoyed? What's the moments that you not enjoyed? I mean, what do you think of the movie in general? Let's go in the comments. Let's talk about it. And we're almost to 500 subscribers. God damn it. I cannot wait to get to there. So please, if you like this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe for more reviews or different varied content, because, you know, this channel is just very diverse like that. So I appreciate the support that you guys give me. I really love what I'm doing here. I just love seeing the support and feedback you guys give me. So this has been great. So my name is Sebastián Sierra, y yo seguiré aquí hablando shit.